Santosh, today's speaker. He is a senior resident Ayurveda in the Department of Integrative Medicine, NIMHANS. So today he will be talking on the topic Takra, that is buttermilk, in routine and medical practice. So I welcome him.
Thank you, Dr. Kavya. So, am I visible and audible?
Yes, Dr. Sundar.
Okay. So, I will share the slide. Just a minute. Whether the slide is visible now?
Yes.
Thank you. So, good evening all. Sorry for the delay. There was another meeting was in progress. That's why we are late by 10 minutes. So today, as you all know, we started this Ayurveda talk series since last 2 months, mainly aiming on lifestyle changes and dietary regulations and dietary focusing on dietary regimens. So today I will be dealing with some of the concepts about buttermilk, which is explained in Ayurveda, and which is more often we are using in our day-to-day life as well as in our Ayurvedic clinical practices. So we will have a look into it. So these are the contents I would like to share with you today. That is a slight history of buttermilk, importance of buttermilk, why buttermilk is so important in Ayurveda or in an Ayurvedic view, what is the preparation and what are the types of buttermilk explained in Ayurveda, and what are the general properties of this buttermilk, and which are the common indications and contraindications of buttermilk, and in medical practice how it is useful, in which all conditions commonly we are using it. So we will have a look into all these things. So actually the literature pertaining to the dairy products are available from our Vedic as well as pre-Vedic time. There is very detailed literature is available on dairy products even in the ancient Ayurveda classics on various types of milk products such as curd, buttermilk, ghee, and all these things are explained in very detail. So in those explanation, there is a definition has been given to takra, and takra has given slight importance compared with the other dairy products. And in the classics, it is told that Madhidam Dedi Takram Uchyade. Dedi means it is curd. And the curd which is churned well is called as takra. So any preparation which is made out of curd without proper churning cannot be called as takra as per Ayurveda. It has to be churned properly. So why it is placed with so importance in Ayurveda means, I think these verses can give the answer to that. This is 2 lines of sloka which is taken in Bhava Prakasha. So it is a book during the 10th to 12th century AD. So there it is mentioned that the takra sevi vedate kadachit, na takra dagda abhavanti rogaha, yatha suranam amritam sukhaya, tatha naranam huvi takra mahu. Which means how Amrita is for devas in Devaloka. Similarly, Takra is for human beings in the earth. So it is told equivalent to the Amrita in earth. So here he says that the one who is properly consuming Takra in a properly prepared Takra in a proper matra, a proper quantity, in the required, in the proper way, all those things I will explain in the coming slides. So he won't be getting affected by any sort of diseases. That is what these 2 lines are explaining. So Ayurveda says that all the diseases are generating from the gut. If your gut is healthy, you will be healthy. And if the gut is unhealthy, that can lead into the initiation of, or that can progress or worsen the pathophysiology of various disorders. So that is why the takra, if you are taking in a proper way, that can keep your jadaragni, that is a digestive fire, in a proper way. It can improve the digestive fire, or it can keep the digestive fire in an optimum way. If your digestive fire is optimum, that can improve the digestion as well as metabolism, and thereby the proper nourishment of the body, which keeps you healthy. So now we will see in general what are the properties of buttermilk, that is takra, as per Ayurveda. So Ayurveda says takra is having kashaya and amlarasa, that is astringent and sour in taste, and it is light to digest. It is having the properties like dry as well as hot in nature, and the potency of takra, buttermilk, is told as hot, and it is having, after the biotransformation, that is a post digestion stage, it is converted into sweet, that is madhura rasa. And again the dosha karma of buttermilk, that is how the buttermilk affects the dosha, that is the tridosha, which are the basic three functional entities in our body. So if you are seeing that how it is influencing, means it is basically told as kapha and vadahara, that is it subsides kapha and vata in the body. So coming to the preparation of buttermilk, of course we all are familiar with the preparation of buttermilk, but we all are preparing it in different way, isn't it? So we know that there is no standardized operating procedure for how to prepare buttermilk. Some may prepare buttermilk by adding water, some may not add water, some may remove the butter, some may not remove the butter, isn't it? So we can see there is a first reference regarding the preparation of takra, we can see in a Kashyapa Samhita. This is a textbook, classical textbook in Ayurveda belonging to the period of 6th century BC, where it is told that it is no other change, the same procedure we are following now also, that is the curdling of the milk has to be done, and then that curd has to be churned very well, then the takra has to be made. It is explained in these verses, which is the traditional buttermilk preparative method what we are following. So in the present scenario, if you are seeing, we are getting two sorts of buttermilk. One is the traditional buttermilk, what we are getting. So in this, what we are doing is, we are curdling the milk. For that, normally we use two ways, either by adding some edible sour substances like lime juice or vinegar to it, and then we are doing the curdling of the milk, and then that is churned into buttermilk. Or else we are adding directly the curd of previous day, we will be adding into it for the purpose of fermentation, and that we are churning out and we are preparing the buttermilk. These are the two ways most commonly we are using to prepare the traditional methods what we are using to prepare the buttermilk. And now we are getting this buttermilk in packet form from almost all dairies. So how they are preparing? They are preparing the cultured buttermilk. They are using some culture, bacterial culture, and they are adding this culture into boiled and cooled milk, and thereby either they are adding it into whole milk, that is without removing the fat, sometimes with milk with low fat, some different procedures they are following. Sometimes they will be using low fat milk for the preparation of buttermilk, and sometimes whole milk itself, and that is how the cultured buttermilk is prepared, which is a common method used by most of the dairies. So now we will see what Ayurveda says about various types of buttermilk. So buttermilk can be prepared in different forms on the basis of different factors. We will see what all those factors one by one. First thing is, based on the extraction of fat, we can prepare three kinds of buttermilk. They are called as Samudrida Grita, Adodrida Sneha, and Anudrida Sneha. It is not so complicated as the name look like. The first one, we can take it as the skim milk buttermilk, that is Samudrida Krita. The entire fat component or the entire butter part is churned out and removed. So that is the fat part is milling the first type of buttermilk, and that hence it is considered as basically more dry, that is more ruksha. Because of that, it can reduce the kapha in the body. And next is ardhodrata sneha. There, some part of the fat is removed and the butter is removed, and rest is allowed to stay. So that is called ardhodrata sneha, and that can be taken some near to the toned milk buttermilk, which is available now. And then come the anudhrita gradasneha. That is, there we are not at all removing the fat component. We are just churning out, and we are preparing the buttermilk without removing the butter. That can be taken as the whole milk buttermilk. So here, if you are seeing in the whole milk buttermilk, the fat component is very high, and in the first variety, the fat component is nil, and hence the first one is kafahara, and the last one is vadahara. Why? Because the snehamsha or the fat component is more. Basically, the fat component is having the properties opposite to the vata dosha, hence it can produce vata dosha in the body. So here, when we will look, so the Takra Bhedas, which I already told, the initial one is basically dry in nature, and the third one is basically more guru, that is heavy to digest. Hence, the body, it can give more nourishment to the body compared to the initial one. Initial one is ruksha, which does the shoshana or the scraping out the kapha in the body, that can again reduce the weight of the body, and the third one can put up the weight to you on constant use. Next variety is made based on taste. So based on taste, when we are seeing, there are two types basically. One is the Madhura Takra and another is the Amla Takra. That is sweet and sour buttermilk. So sour buttermilk, if you are seeing, that is basically Pitta Prakopa, that can increase the Pitta in the body. Why I am always connecting it with the dosha is, these doshas are the basic functional units in the body. So any food item what we are taking are having an influence over this dosha. So that has to be noted. And based on that itself, we can go into the diagnosis, or else for writing some medicines, we need to understand the effect of each dietary item on the dosha levels. So this Amla Takra can increase the Pitta in the body. Okay, why? Because it is sour in taste, and when we will see its titratable acidity level, it is comparatively more than that of the sweet buttermilk. So all these can increase the amlata in the takra, in the buttermilk. So it is pitta prakopa, and this kind of buttermilk, that is amla kind of buttermilk, is not indicated during summer. And we know very well that during the summer we have a tendency to take more of buttermilk, but during time it is better to take Madhura Takra, sweet buttermilk, which is considered as a Tridosha Hara, which maintains the optimum balance of all three dosha. That can be appreciated. Use of that kind of buttermilk can be appreciated, but that of Amla Takra is better to avoid. Next variety is based on the processing, that whether we are processing it or not. That on the basis of processing, again we can classify it into two, that is Amatakra and Pakkotakra. Here Amatakra is nothing but the raw buttermilk what most of us prepare at home. Okay, we will directly add water or may not add water. We may or may not remove the butter, and we will simply churn it, or we will shake it in some container or something like that. We will prepare. That can be taken as Amatakra. And the Pakkotakra, this I explained what we this is not exact way to prepare actually Amatakra. This is how normally we does at home, that I just told. That is what is taken as Amatakra. And the Pakkotakra is something which we are preparing after heating the buttermilk. So there are many regional varieties of such Pakkotakra kind of preparations, like Morigari or Pulseri or Majigi Sara, like such kind of preparations are so common in that. When we will see the properties of these two, Amatakra is basically can increase the appetite. Okay, it can increase the appetite. it acts more over the intestinal part, okay, and it can reduce the kapha in the lower half of the body. That in the sense, almost in the stomach and the intestinal part, it can subside kapha dosha. While coming to the Pakkotakra, it is found to be more effective to use Pakkotakra when you are having some sort of disturbances with your head and neck region, like chronic cold, dyspnea, or cough. In such cases, use of Pakkotakra is more appreciated. Then another type of varieties of takra is based on the dilution factor. This is actually a unique concept told in Ayurveda. Even the dairy sciences are also not so well with this concept, because based on the dilution factor, 5 varieties are told. It is told by one acharya called Bhava Prakasha, and there are some other books which are explaining around 10 varieties of buttermilk based on the variation in dilution principles. So we will see how these varieties can be made. So the first one is, its name is kolam, and it is prepared without adding water and without removing the butter. We are simply churning the curd and we are using it as buttermilk. That variety of buttermilk is called as kolam. We are not adding water and we are not removing the fat components. So it acts as Vadapitta. Sorry. It acts as Vadapittara. And the next variety is Madhidam, where we are not adding any water, but we are removing the butter part. That variety is called as Madhidam, which is having a property of Pittaharata, which subsides Pitta. And the third variety is called as Takram, where we are adding 1/4 water into the curd, and we are subjecting it to churn, and we are removing the butter part. So from Madhidam to rest of the 4 varieties, we are removing the butter completely. Okay, we are removing the butter completely after churning. And the Udashit variety, we are adding half parts of water into the curd, and we are churning well and removing the butter part. And in Chachika variety, that is the most diluted one, where equal quantity of water we are adding and we are removing the butter part. So the Chachika variety is found to be having most of Trishnakshana property. That is nothing but it subsides thirst most thirst relieving property is attributed to this Chachika variety, which is basically Kafahara, told as Kafahara. And also the Udashit variety is also subsides Kapha in the body, and it can increase the Agni. Okay. It can stimulate the Agni and it can maintain the optimum state of Agni as like that of Takra, which we are preparing with by adding 1/4 part of water. So this is another variety of Takra varieties which is told by the book Bhojana Kutuhala. Actually, these all varieties are not commonly in practice, but the other 5 varieties we are commonly in practice in the Ayurvedic field. These 5 varieties are explained by a book called Bhojana Kutuhala, which book is exclusively meant for dealing with various diet preparations and foods and drinks. So here he is explaining 10 varieties of takra based on the dilution factors. So initially you can see where there is nirjalam sasneham, that means without adding water and with butter. One variety that is called Karamadida, then Madida variety without adding water, and after removing the entire butter we are using, and it is having a property in conditions of pain. You can suggest, especially some abdominal colic and all, we can suggest the Madida variety of Takra, and then Udashit variety where 1/4 part of water is added. This found to be, which is told to be having more action, more beneficial effect in conditions like hemorrhoids and Grahini. Grahini is nothing but some diseases like IBS and even diarrhea, dysentery kind of disorders. And Takra, by adding half parts of water, we are preparing Takra, that is told as Deepana, that can improve the digestive capacity. And similarly, if you are seeing, you can see Kalasheya which is prepared by 1 and 1/4 part of water. That is more than 1 part we are adding, and that is told to be beneficial in conditions like common cold as well as madapaha. That is a term which is used like for intoxication. That is for intoxicated person. We may see even in movies and even there in practice, we may used to give this buttermilk to those who are intoxicated by the binge drinking of alcohol and all. It is just to restoration, rehydration purpose. So these kind of varieties can be varieties of buttermilk would be more beneficial in such cases. And the last variety, what he is explaining is double to that of what exactly told by the last author, that is Bhava Prakasha. There he is telling that we have to add 2 parts of water to 1 part of curd to prepare Adi Milita kind of buttermilk, which is told as Sarvadoshahara, which can subside all the 3 doshas and which is found to be more beneficial in various kind of GI disturbances. Then again, there is another type of takra has been told, that is based on the origin, like whether the milk has been collected from a cow or a buffalo or from a goat. Based on that also, the different properties of that particular takra has been mentioned. And we Indians, and especially in the South Indian part, most of us are using the takra which is made out of cow milk. So it is told as it is having Agni Deepana action. It will increase the digestive capacity. It can improve. It will be beneficial in the conditions like indigestion and all. And it is also told that it is having properties like medhya. That is, it can improve the cognitive functions also. Then regarding the Vyadhi karma as well as dosha karma, where it can be indicated, again, most of the takra preparations and varieties of takra are specifically indicated for various GI disorders, especially the diseases like hemorrhoids and various movement disorders some increased bowel movements like diarrhea, dysentery and IBS kind of presentation. It is told to be more beneficial. So now we will have a quick look into what are the common indications and contraindications told for takra. So here I would like to highlight the contraindication than the indication. Why? Because during summer we have a common tendency to take more of buttermilk. So there we may have to keep in mind that time we may have to avoid the use of amla variety, that is sour buttermilk. Again, the sour buttermilk can increase the internal heat by increasing the pitta. Again, the titratable acidity, acid value is more. So it can increase the pitta and again it can worsen the internal, it can increase the internal heat. So it has to be avoided. Similarly, some diseases like bleeding disorders and various disorders of pitta origin, like some acid peptic disorders or any disorders with the involvement of pitta, there we have to avoid the use of amla takra, that is sour buttermilk. There you can go for freely, you can go for madura takra, that is sweet buttermilk. For that, what we have to do is we have to avoid keeping this keeping this curd for fermentation for long hours. If we are keeping it for short hours, we will get sweet buttermilk. So that can be used during the time of summer. And again, the indication, as I told earlier, it is very good in hemorrhoids, loss of appetite, IBS, dysuria, anemia, and obesity kind of presentations. So now we'll see how some synergistic effect of takra when we are administering it with some of other drugs, single drugs or in combination. So in Vatika kind of disorder, Vata kind, the disease which is caused because of Vata dosha, that can be assessed with the help of an Ayurveda physician. There we can use amla takra along with shundi and saindava. It is a kind of salt only. That salt and shundi, ginger, can be added to amla takra and that can be used. And in pitta kind of disorder, we can add sugar. We can add powdered sugar into the madura takra so that it will subside pitta. And then in Kafaja kind of disorder, Takra can be taken along with Trikadu. It is a formulation, it is an Ayurveda formulation containing 3 herbs, and Sharai. Again, it is a special kind of preparation in Ayurveda, which makes the Takra more potent to subside the Kapha, which is causing various kind of disorders. Again, in hemorrhoids and conditions like diarrhea, Kola kind of Takra can be given along with hing and jeera powder. Jeera and Saindavalavana, that is again a salt. So jeera powder, hing and the salt can be added to Kola variety of takra. Kola variety, as I explained earlier, it is a variety of takra which is prepared without adding water and without removing the fat component. And next is in anemic conditions, you can go for Ghola with Guda, that is Jaggery, and Chitraka. It's again a herb which is used in Ayurveda. The powder of Chitraka and it is Plumbago zelanica. It's powder, and the Jaggery can be used along with Ghola type of Takra in conditions like anemia. And then in condition of dysuria kind of presentation, other urinary tract infection, you can go for the use of Ghola with Sharkara. Okay, again that will subside the Pitta, where Pitta will be most of the time, Pitta will be the dosha which is leading into the pathophysiology of that particular disease. So there Ghola can be used along with Sharkara, that is sugar. So now we will have a look into the medical aspect, how the role of Takra in Ayurveda in various aspects. So in Ayurveda, Takra is used mainly in these 4 purposes. One is as Anubana, that is as an adjuvant of various medicines. Like some specific medications like Punarnava Mandura is specifically told to take along with Takra. So why? Because Punarnava Mandura is commonly it is prescribed for anemia, and again we are providing an acid medium along with it, and it can increase the absorption of the iron into the body. And next is Takra in various formulations. Even though it is rare, we are using Takra in some of the formulations like Punarnavadi Taila. It is a oil preparation, and in Takra Arishta, it is a kind of Arishta preparation. In those preparations, we are using this buttermilk, and in a number of procedures we are using Takra. That the commonest procedures are for Shirodhara, Takra is used. So the Takra is processed with a few number of medicines, and then it is used for Shirodhara purpose. And another procedure called Shiro Leba, where some medicated pastes are mixed with Takra, and that paste is applied over the head of the patient. These Shirodhara as well as the Shiro Leba, all these things are found to be more effective in psychiatric as well as neuropsychiatric conditions. There Takra is used. And then in other diseases, as I explained earlier, along with some single drugs or in combination of certain herbs, we are using Takra specifically to deal with some of the GI tract issues. So regarding the standardization and all, if you are seeing, there are some initial studies has been done in this the various type of buttermilk based on the dilution principles. So from that preclinical studies, it has been come up that the carminative effect is found to be more in Takra. Okay, Takra, that is the buttermilk which is made by adding 1/4 water, is found to be having the carminative effect. And Takra, again, the Takra itself is having the Dimana property, that is the digestion capacity, which improves the digestive fire. That capacity is also more in Takra variety of the buttermilk. And again, as I mentioned earlier, to subside the thirst, Cola is found to be more effective. And for weight reduction, Madhida variety is told to be found in the study. That in that study, it is found that Madhida variety of Takra is found to have the weight reduction property, and the antidiarrheal property is assessed in Chachika variety, where we are adding equal part of water, and the dysuria condition, sorry, the spelling slight mistake is there. In the dysuria condition, Kola variety is found to be effective. This study has conducted in animal model, and even for the carbonative and digestive purpose, even in the clinical practice also, we are suggesting the Takra variety of buttermilk. It is found to be more effective. And as I explained earlier, even in the in procedures, as a pre-operative procedures to various Panchakarma treatments, in order to improve the digestive capacity and in order to prepare the patient ready for the further Panchakarma procedures, we often suggest takrapana, that is drinking of takra in quantities like half to 1 liter, 1.5 liter per in a day. So there we usually suggest this takra variety of buttermilk. So now one more thing I would like to share here, that is based on season, which kind of buttermilk we should take. So here in summer season, we are seeing especially where the pitta dominance is seen in the body, there will be a naturally aggravation of pitta in the body. There you can go for Kola variety of takra or else Artha Udrada takra, that is the takra with half of the butter has removed, half not removed. That kind of takra can be taken, or else a Madhura takra you can take. As I explained earlier, it is better to avoid Amla takra during that time. And in the rainy season, again you can go for Kola or Madhura takra, where during that season there will be a natural increase of Vata in the body. That time, whichever the types of takra which are having snigdhamsha, that is the fatty part in it, that can be more appreciated. So the amla or madhura takra can be taken. Anudrita sneha takra, that is the takra from which we are not removed the butter, can be used. And again in winter season there will be natural increase of kapha in the body. There you can go for udashit or chachika kind of takra varieties, where we are adding comparatively more water into it, which makes the takra more ruksha, that is dry in nature, so that can reduce the kapha in the body. Or else you can go for amla takra or else ruksha takra, which is made by removing all the fat component. So this is in short about the takra varieties, which is explained in Ayurveda, and how Ayurveda see the use of takra in our daily practice or as in our day-to-day life. So as conclusion, I would conclude it with the line from Charaka Samhita, Rogaha Sarve Abhimandagno Sudara Udaranicha. That means all the diseases are caused because of Mandagni. That is the low digestive capacity or any sort of hampering to the digestive capacity can end up in the manifestation of various kind of disorders, that the gut health has to be seen prime. And as you know, buttermilk is a very good diet as well as therapeutic agent which can address your gut health and gut microbial flora. As I shown in the initial slide, buttermilk is also called as a nickname, it is called as grandma's probiotic. It can be taken by anybody who is having a under digestive capacity. It will stimulate the digestion. And again, while taking, you have to take into consideration of few factors, that are the agni of the person, digestive capacity of the person, and the season when you are taking it, and the health status of the person, whether he is having some disorders or not, that has to be considered. Based on that, you can go for the selection of buttermilk, and you can go for the processing of buttermilk by adding some of the herbs and all. So that has to be taken into consideration. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
So, thank you, Dr. Santosh, for a very comprehensive and informative session on very commonly used food product. So now the session is open for discussion. So if you have any queries, you can either put it in chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Now to close this. question is there, I think. Yeah, there is a question, is the curd and buttermilk having same amount of probiotics? Actually, it is not. Curd is comparatively having more probiotic value, and buttermilk is less buttermilk is having less probiotic value. The what thing makes the difference is buttermilk is more accessible to most of the people. Curd may not be, because curd is, as per Ayurveda, curd is very heavy to digest. It can it can it is having an abhishanti guna. That means it can increase the secretions in the body. So a person who is having good appetite, a person who is habituated with the use of curd, for him better option for probiotic drink is curd than the buttermilk. Otherwise, for most of the people, if you are asking, buttermilk is the best option. Another question is, which milk is ideal for human consumption? Actually, even though I not mentioned about milk, milk is also another area which is very elaborately mentioned in Ayurveda, because around 10 varieties of milk has been explained, and in that it is told that in that commonly he is suggesting that even though we are using cow milk as common, it is told that the milk of goat is more suited to human beings than that of cow's milk, because comparing these two qualities as per Ayurvedic angle, if you are comparing this, goat's milk is easy to digest, but sorry, goat's milk is easy to digest, but cow's milk is comparatively heavy to digest. And also the property base, if you are saying, means the goat is one which eats a lot of grass, lot of leaves. So it is having a kashaya dikta guna, that is astringent, and astringent is slight astringent it is. So that will make it more easy to digest. So as per that, in Ayurveda, it suggests that, and even for the newborn babies, if you are not having the breast milk feed, it is told that initially it is told as the goat milk can be selected for. Not directly, it has to be processed with some herbs, then you can select. Sir, for peptic ulcer, which kind of buttermilk is better? So, peptic ulcer cases, it depends on your presentation. If you are having generally it is a condition where we will treat basically pitta dosha. So, if it is a condition with and rarely it presents with the peptic ulcer present with the more of kapha dosha predominant condition also. If it is pitta predominant condition, you can use madhura takra. That is, the sweet buttermilk will be a better option for you without removing the fat you can take. That will be a better option. In Karnataka, yeah.
We have masala buttermilk. How good is that? So it is prepared from Nandini.
Okay. Actually, I don't know about masala buttermilk. I think what all the ingredients in that buttermilk, I don't know. Normally,
they add some spices to that, and they prepare.
Okay. Even chilies they had.
Yeah, they
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe
salt, chili, and jeera. I think those are the spices they use.
Okay.
So that won't be suitable for Pitta Prakriti people.
Jeera, of course, it is good. Adding jeera is fine. Actually, I recently spoke with a person who is working in Nandini. So they told that now they are adding some something called, its brand name is Synthase, which contains number of powders of some flavors and all. So in that, what exactly not told. If chili and all there means, it is better to avoid for those who are having some peptic ulcer and that kind of disorders. Acid peptic disorders, it is better to avoid.
Especially peptic ulcer caused when it's pylori.
Okay, I think that's a continuation of the last question.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's caused by H. pylori or with any cause. It is there also. How Ayurveda assessing the peptic ulcer is based on the presentation. If you are presenting with more of burning sensation, regurgitation, if you are having sore belching repeatedly and all, means it's a presence of presentation of pitta basically. Then you can go for sweet buttermilk.
Freshly prepared will
Yes.
be better for them, not fermented one.
So that will be better option for you. You can add sugar into it.
Usually the butter is curds is prepared same day to be taken, or the previous day, what is the packed one, even previous day they sell in the shops. Is it good to consume?
Actually, about preparation of buttermilk you are asking, madam, or regarding the use of curd you are asking?
No, the curd also, we are using the curd only for the buttermilk, no?
Yes.
So, which when it should be prepared? Freshly prepared one is good,
It is
or
always
even
better
if
if
it
you
is
are preparing
commercially
it
available,
freshly.
the previous day they prepare and keep in the refrigerator. So, we will buy those things.
Yes. So it is always better if you are doing it as fresh as possible. If you are keeping it for more time, means again the fermentation is happening for more time. Again the amblatva of the takra, or the curd or the takra can be increased with that. So it is always advised to take as fresh as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Having buttermilk before food or after, which is better?
This is depends on your digestive capacity. Normally, before food, you are taking buttermilk, means you may have to wait for another 1 to 2 hours for your food. Immediately before food, it is not advised commonly. So, even though if you are advising buttermilk for this improving the digestive capacity, also we are not advising it is immediately before the food. Okay. If you are a person with low digestive capacity, your intention is to increase your digestive fire, means you can take it before at least before 45 minutes of your meal, not immediately before the meal.
So, any more queries? Yeah. How about with rice?
With rice, you can take. There is no problem in that. With rice, you can mix. You can add some more, as I told earlier, some synergetic effects. For that, you can add some more herbs like shunti. You can add. You can add a paste of curry leaves. You can add. So jeera powder. You can add. All these things you can add based on your condition of your stomach, and then you can use it.
How long can we preserve the buttermilk in the fridge?
How long we
It's
can?
based on like smell changes, and after some time, like acidic property will increase if they store it for longer.
Yes.
So maybe hardly for one day, it will be good. I think after that it will become sour. Even if you refrigerate it, it will become sour.
Yes. So you can keep for a few more days, but
Yeah.
you may be noticed, like if you are keeping for 2-3 days, the
Yes.
sourness will gradually increase
Yes.
because the fermentation is keep on happening, and lactic acid concentration also is getting more and more. Then you can see for the smell and taste if it, then whether it is getting spoiled or not.
Cooked buttermilk is not good for digestion.
Actually, this the recent studies are suggesting that, even in my presentation I told that most of the GI related issues, digestive related issues, we are giving buttermilk. So once we are cooking it, means the probiotic percentage of that buttermilk can be reduced, because the various microorganisms which are helping for the probiotic property of buttermilk can get destroyed when we are cooking buttermilk above 60 degree. Okay, if you're boiling or heating it above 60 degree means most of them can get destroyed. So then cooked buttermilk, that's why it is told like for the in the initial presentation, I have posted one slide for that only, like for reducing the kapha in the digestive tract, the uncooked buttermilk, raw buttermilk will be more useful, and for cooked buttermilk will be more beneficial if you have some disorders of kapha origin in the head and neck region, like common cold or some cough due to kapha dosha and all. That time it will be helpful. It is helping. Why? Because even while cooking, we may be adding ajmoda into it, we may be adding jeera into it. So all those will play a role in improving the digestion. But comparing both, it is not as good as or as potent as the raw buttermilk for improving the digestion.
And there is one more question. Can we carry it in flask and keep it in room temperature for 12 hours? I think it is not advisable. Can we carry it in flask and keep it in room temperature for 12 hours?
Actually, it is not advised. It is always better if you are preparing it fresh and consuming.
I think if it becomes her, then they can use it. Some people add curd to the vegetables and meat and boil it. Is it good?
Actually, in the case of milk, I told curd is also a very vast area that we will cover in our coming sessions. And what Ayurveda says about curd is curd should not be heated and it should not be taken along with hot food items. We should not add curd directly into hot rice and take. So this is not advisable as per Ayurveda.
One more, when there is a little curd is left, or to make it more, sometimes suddenly they will add little milk. That is good or not? To
For
increase the quantity, they
yeah.
will add instantly milk.
Okay, for some preparing buttermilk.
Yeah, buttermilk.
Actually,
Not good.
it is not good.
Yes, yes. Thank you. That was a kind of, we have many families do that.
Okay.
So when they prepare curd rice, no? Curd rice, when they prepare curd rice, half milk and half curds they add.
Okay.
Then they'll mix it for keep it for a long time. This is the I think common practice even in the hotels and even in the marriage functions. They add half curd and half milk when they're preparing the curd rice.
Okay, okay, madam.
So that is not good, as you say. Instantly.
Actually, sorry.
Okay. Is there clinical evidence for all this recommendation beyond the references from classical texts?
Yes, sir. It's a very good question. Actually, as I told, there are references are more, but the clinical evidences are less. But some initial preclinical studies have been started. That is happened in Kerala, and there are some publication based on that, based on this 5 varieties of takra, which is explained in Bhava Prakasha. And there are some points are actually those points are striked by that. Dairy Science Manuti Trishur, and they are taking up some further studies. Hopefully, in another 2-3 years, some more research may come up. There is only one initial study which is mentioning, which can be taken as a reference for all these explanations, which I told for all those 5 varieties of buttermilk.
Okay. So there are, yeah, we can wind the session. So thank you all for joining us. So this Ayurveda talk series will continue in next month also. And every first Saturday of every month, we will have Ayurveda sessions. So join us and you can share with your friends also. So thank you once again.
Thank you all.